Amid a divided atmosphere last week, Nigeria's National Assembly passed the Petroleum Industry Bill and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Not only did the crucial but contentious legislation pit lawmakers along predominantly ethnic and party lines, the amendment of the Electoral Act in particular raised questions on if the Southwest and its politicians, who have always been known as champions of progressive issues, are drifting away from the doctrine of progressivism. Now, too many observers, the event that unfolded in the Senate also brought to the fore the self-serving motives of several lawmakers who were more interested in passing an electoral law that benefited them and was in conflict with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, rather than what was in the best interest of the country and its electoral process. Well, joining us now to discuss the dust raised over the passage of the PIB and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and why the National Assembly refuses to yield to the demands of the people is a member of the All Progressives Congress and chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Honorable Musa Sarkin Adar. Good morning, Honorable Adar, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Adeswa, Ruben, and Rufai, and good morning to Nigerians.
Morning. Good morning, Honorable. It's good to see you again. Well, very quickly, two major issues, but let's start with the Electoral Bill and the controversy over it. Before you joined us, we had your colleague, Honorable Yakubu Bade, with us, and he was very critical of how the All Progressives Congress conducted itself. And he made the point that, in fact, the suspicion is that, the leader, one of the leaders of the APC, was the one that influenced how, APC members voted with regard to Clause 52, the controversial Clause 52. Do you have any information in this regard? He specifically mentioned Senator Remi Tinubu and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Thank you, Ruben. In the first place, I do not expect Honorable Yakubu Bade as an elder in the House and as a ranking member of the House, to come and make this unfounded statement which he cannot defend. We as politicians and as members of the House of Representatives should not just come out and express emotions and try to champion what other people have been shouting out. Well, I don't know whether Senator Remi Tinubu and her husband, distinguished Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have influenced anybody. I personally have not been influenced by anybody other than my conscience, and I want to believe also all my colleagues who have voted for what we have voted so far, we did it in the best interest of Nigerians because we do not want anybody to be disenfranchised. Honorable Yakubu should be honest to tell you that we did not took the position until when experts, specifically from the NCC, were invited to come and clear light on what happened to the coverage of network in Nigeria. And the person who came there, Engineer Maska, and I can remember the most senior one who came is a Yoruba person, I forgot his name. They mentioned categorically that as of 2018, there were only coverage in 50% of the polling units. They gave us in the polling units, they don't say in Nigeria, they say in the polling units as of 2018. And as of now, everybody is aware that INEC have increased number of polling units. So if by 2018, you do not have enough coverage of all the polling units in Nigeria, what more of now when there are more polling units that you are not aware of their locations? Not only that, another member raised a question about hacking, possibility of hacking, or if there's any way they can insulate and protect their cyber. They said that is beyond their powers. And the cited instance was what happened between United States of America election of 2016, where Russia was alleged to have hacked their server and determined the result in favor of somebody that they preferred. And later, all investigations have revealed that has happened. And not only that, all of us are living witnesses to what is happening to our individual and collective and group accounts of social media and even of bank accounts. Many times you go to ATM to withdraw your money. Before you know, you come back home and you start receiving alert of transactions that you have not conducted and you have not instructed. So with all this, we became more enlightened and we decided we feel Nigerians, no Nigerian should be disenfranchised from electing a person of his choice at any level of elections. So I thought, members of PDP, I do not want to be partisan, but I have to. I'm a politician, I've been elected, more especially everybody who comes there came from a particular unit called the constituency, which I have my own. And everybody has a party that sponsored him. Until now, there's no provision for independent candidature. I wish there is, and if there is, then I can now give in my personal opinion. Whatever opinion I'm going to give here is an opinion that reflects the generality and the majority of all of us. And the majority have had our way, so the minority have right to be heard. And that's what exactly Yakub Bade and his friends are trying to express. At the point when we were about to vote, they realized they were outnumbered. And so we don't know. Already, maybe they had met earlier before they came there, so we just saw them working out. But notwithstanding, the beauty of one thing I appreciate about our voting there is there is people from across the parties and across the regions. Members from the north, members from the southwest, members from the south-south, members from the southeast were there when voting took place. And I saw some PDP members that also remained there. There were some Afghan and Labour Party Afghan members and PRP members. They are also members of the opposition, but they remain there. I don't want to mention the name of anybody. I don't know what position the PDP will want to take or the other parties will take against anybody who decided to remain and do the good work for Nigeria and for Nigerians. Look, when the Electoral Act came to the House, from the beginning, I'm sorry that I said I don't want to be partisan, but from the beginning, PDP tried to champion as if it is its own agenda to influence how the members should vote. Remember, in 2019, one of the strong points raised by Atiku, the presidential candidate of PDP then, was that he won the election, but INEC changed the election in favor of the President Muhammadu Buhari, who was duly elected. And they were saying INEC had a server then. And people were saying, yes, because they are aware of the server, they went and hacked the server, so they have manipulated the result through the server. So they want that to be admitted, and as such, they could make a case. In any way, that has gone and passed. We are not there to discuss whether INEC has a server or whether it didn't have, whether PDP and its candidate have hacked or whether it has happened, it has gone. We are looking for the future. Every one of us is desirous of having most credible election. I chaired the Committee on Electoral Matters. That's why I even accepted to come and talk on this, because I have some knowledge on it. I worked on the Electoral Act 2010, which is now being amended. So, and I know much about that. And I took my work with all the seriousness. I was very zealous, and I committed myself to it. And until now, though I'm not a member of the committee, but a member of the House, and I participated fully from the beginning to the end of this Electoral Act process, which we have just passed. Okay. And please, be guided and inform Nigerians. What we did is in the best collective interest of Nigerians. Whatever you will make, if you disenfranchise the larger part of Nigerians, that is a great dishonesty and insincerity to the country. However, if you allow somebody to come and vote and he refused to come, it's his own choice. So what we did is in the best interest of Nigeria. And I wish you have invited the spokesperson of the House to come and speak on behalf of the House, not myself. However, I'm glad I'm sharing light to what has happened. Okay.
Honorable Adar, are you aware that the Constitution confers the powers of conducting elections on INEC and doesn't subject it to any third party? And if you're aware, do you agree that this decision by you and members of your party in the National Assembly is a hard sell to any reasonable person, especially because INEC has repeatedly said during public hearings, during deliberations, even publicly, that they have the capacity to deepen the electoral process electronically. And all they're looking for is the legislative power, the law, to back it up. So when you consider that, many people are wondering, what exactly is it that you are afraid of? Is it not beyond network connectivity and coverage?
If the reasons I have given earlier, the issue of no coverage of polling units, INEC cannot confirm the availability of network because they are not IT experts and they are not the custodian of the IT. The custodian of IT of Nigeria or the IT custodian of network coverage in Nigeria is the NCC. They came officially and they spoke officially. Sorry, the earphone has gone off. Excuse me?
Yeah, you can fix it back.
Quickly, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can go ahead, Honorable Adar. Why don't you try to fix that?
Okay, I said, so the NCC have came in their official capacity and they have explained that there is no adequate coverage of network in 50% of the polling units. So for INEC to come out and say they can go ahead with electronic transmission of results, then that I think INEC is either misquoted, or if they have said that, then they are trying to be something else. For now, we are part of the law, and like I said, I will insist in the best interest of Nigerians. The most important thing in election is first, don't disenfranchise anybody. Once you disenfranchise anybody in election, the process of the election becomes flawed. So we have achieved that, we have guaranteed that, but it is the choice of a person to go and vote or refuse to vote. So now, coming back to your other question, that you said the Constitution have given INEC powers to. Yes, the Constitution gave them. Equally, the Constitution gave us, members of the Parliament, to enact any law that will improve the existing laws. We can amend. Don't forget that. And if any case, if you said INEC came to the public hearing and said that they need an enabling legislation to go ahead with the conduct of the election, that shows you that what you have claimed, the Constitution have given them the powers to conduct election, that does not mean they should conduct election was prior to any enactment. So far, Electoral Act is in line with the Constitution. It has been there long before now. It is just being amended, and it is part of it that we thought would strengthen the conduct of election that is amended. And don't forget, legislative process is an ongoing process. We are on recess now. We just started last week. We are due to resume by 14th of September. On that very day of our resumption, if President Buhari have assented to the bill before then, any member, anybody can bring amendment to any clause he wishes. And that's what we try to explain to our colleagues in the opposition party. And it is time that we should not try to create unnecessary image of trying to blackmail a party or a particular person simply because he belongs to an opinion. It's high time that we people in the parliament try to conduct ourselves responsibly, patriotically, and in the best interest of this country. Election is 2 years ahead. When the election comes, let everybody go and converse for votes. Let people vote anybody that they so wish. Changing any electoral, any clause in the Electoral Act does not and cannot give anybody advantage in the election process. Unless if somebody have already perfected a plan much earlier before now, and he believes that election, that plan he has perfected could only be guaranteed to sway in his favor the result that is going to come out if certain things is allowed to take place, such as the transmission of this election results through electronic means. And when you said majority of Nigerians are not happy with what has happened, I don't want to believe in that. I beg to take your pardon, because I know immediately after the bill was passed, I saw the applause by many Nigerians. People who are calling us to say, you people have saved this country, because everybody is now allowed to go and vote. And now you are going to have a credible election. So it's an opinion that anybody can say so. It's just like a child who failed his exam. When he come home, he will tell his parents that, no, the teacher didn't like me. Or no, when I started the exam, I started late. Look, politicking is something that should be viewed in other ways now. Whatever you wish to converse, go and converse it with them among your colleagues. Negotiate, discuss, try to sway them to your side and give them reasons. That's what we do. We try to, even in the members of APC, there were those that did not bought the idea much earlier, but when we sat down and engaged, there was somebody who told me 2 days before the passage of the bill that he was of the opinion that election should be transmitted through electronic means. But now he realized the implication. He said particularly, and he's a member of PDP, he told me that he has 2 local governments that he is representing. And these 2 local governments, there's a good coverage of network in one local government. So people from that local government were calling him to say, make sure that this thing is applied. And the other people in the other local government, there's no coverage at all in that local government. It's in one of the state and North Central State. I'm trying to shield him. I don't want to mention his name and mention his state. He said, though now he's divided, but now with the explanation given to us by NCC, he is going to vote for non-transmission of results through the electronic means. Okay. There are so many of them that I can cite. Like I said, I'm not here to depend ourselves based on party lines. I'm just trying to explain what happened.
Honorable Sarkin, in citing that, a lot of people are bringing forward the argument that the NCC had a joint forum with INEC leading up to the 2019 elections, and they talked about the possibility of full transmission electronically. Hear this. In the report of the technical committee, I'm reading from the cable now, as seen by the cable, INEC is said to have made available coordinates of 118,000 polling units, out of which 119,000, and in its deliberations sought most importantly 100% constant availability of network service during the period of election. So they are saying that it is possible when they work with the MNOs to transmit the results. So what they are saying that this is possible. And INEC, the position INEC maintained, INEC has been talking to the press, the position they maintained, the Chief Voter Education Officer of INEC did say it is possible to electronically transmit. So if the Independent National Electoral Commission is saying that it is possible to transmit, and not only that, they have done it in the Edo elections successfully, they have shown you the proof, they have practicalized it, then what is it you are saying to Nigerians? Are you calling us fools?
Doctor, thank you, Dr. Ruben Abati, for coming out with this argument. And let me correct you one thing. One, I respect you as my contemporary. Two, I respect you being a spokesperson of our president before now. And even before then, you are one of the journalists that I have been reading their columns before now. But let me ask you this. What you are saying here is speculative. Because you say INEC said it is possible. That is a probability. It's not accurate. And having a sample in one out of 37 states.
Honorable Sarkin, let me come here.
I didn't interject you. I didn't interject you. Let me finish.
It is possible, it's absolute, it's not a probability.
Let me finish I didn't interject you. Allow me to finish, then you can raise. You have the gavel there, but let me talk, please. That's our rule in the discussion in the House. Somebody should be allowed to finish his talk, then you can now respond. Moreover, like I said, you have the gavel here. So, you say it is possible. You say it is possible. Whether you say it is absolutely possible, I tend to disagree with you, and I tend to disagree with INEC if INEC have said that. As I'm saying, if INEC have tested this in one state out of 36 states, what fraction of configuration is that? If you say I do not understand English, it means you don't understand mathematics. Only one state. Don't forget, Ondo State is not one of the populous and is not one of the large states in the country. If you give me an example with Lagos, or with Kano, or Kaduna, I can now agree with you, but not with Ondo State. How many polling units are in Ondo State? If we have 10,000 polling units all over Nigeria, what we will have in Ondo will not be up to 500. So you should understand this. Whatever position you are taking, and I can now understand, maybe you are towing the line of PDP. I don't know you to be a PDP person, but I know you are a journalist and you work for PDP. You understand. However, I still insist and maintain our position. What we did was in the best interest of credible election in Nigeria. Let's INEC dispute that. INEC was there. They have not come to tell us. They did not appear before us. It is the NCC that came in our collective sitting of all the members of about more than 200 of us that sat on that very day. If INEC have said this at a committee level, where about 30 or more less people were there, and the committee did not report to us, that INEC have told them this. And in the whole of the report, I believe is available with you now, show me where it is indicated in the report that INEC said coverage is available all over the polling units. So that's what I say speculative. And I tend to be corrected by you if you have any further proof. Thank you very much.
Just to move on, apart from clause 52, are you with me, Honorable? Hello?
Sorry, come again. I didn't hear you well. Sorry,
Yes.
again.
Apart from clause 52, there are other controversial parts of that proposed Electoral Act Amendment Bill, particularly the clauses relating to campaign finance. And you said you were part of the original committee that came up with some of those recommendations. Why would the presidential election cost as much as 15 billion naira? And for anyone to be governor, the person will have to go and look for 5 billion naira. And to be a senator, what was it again? 1.5 billion. And to be a member of House of Reps, maybe about 500 million. Would you like to, comment on that? Because to average Nigerians, 15 billion, 5 billion,
I would like to speak.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Let me reiterate, I'm not here to defend a position of any party or of anybody, but to try to put some light for people to understand. The provision of 15 billion naira for presidential candidates and 5 billion naira for governorship and similarly to 500 million for members of Congress is not sacrosanct. It is saying he is allowed to spend as much as that. It is not saying he must spend that. Coming from background of the previous act which we are just amending, the provision made there of about 100 million naira, I think it's about 50 or 100 million naira for members of House of Reps, we realized is very inadequate. And don't forget, these are subject to litigation after elections. Many of our colleagues lost their elections after they have won because somebody took them to court that they have infringed upon the limit of spending or the limit of this contribution you are allowed as a candidate or as a party to take from a particular group or a particular individual. So in any case, I'm not saying 15 billion naira is not much money. It is, because I know, like I who come from a rural state, Sokoto, with 15 billion naira, you can turn around the whole state. I assure you this. I know the value of that money. I'm sure if you give me 15 billion naira for my 2 local government in my constituency, it will become a Dubai of sort. So, notwithstanding, any member or any gubernatorial candidate or any senatorial candidate who feel he can win his election with 5 million naira, so be it. So the limit there is just saying you should not go above this. It doesn't say you must spend this or you shall spend this. So I hope this is clearly understood. And let me go back to the other point you have raised. Like I've said, the process of any bill making in the parliament is collective and it goes by majority. Clause 52, when it came, it was carried and passed and governed by the chair. But some people who felt they wanted to confuse the sitting there and confuse the Nigerian outside there, they started shouting that it is not governed. The votes and proceedings are there. All our Hansard, which is shorthand written, word to word or word by word, is there for everyone to see. I am sure you have your correspondent in that chamber and all other media live coverage were all equally there. Go and review it. If you have it there, you can play it for me now. Let me see. It took us more than 20 minutes. Yes, there was uproar because the minority were trying to intimidate us with they were even using their mic to speak where it came to voting. And that's not allowed. But yet, we outnumbered them with our number there. So, and they felt, let them express something that people like you journalists will take on and continue to harp on, as you are doing now. Dr. Reuben Abati, Adesua, Rufai, Nigerians, the bill had been passed in the normal procedure of any legislation in the country, in accordance with our rules and in accordance with the Constitution of Nigeria. However, like I said, it is not the end of bill making. Next 2 months is very much around to come. When we resume, you people can go and rewrite the bill as you wish for amendment. Give it to whoever wants to champion it to you. I wish you could approach me. I will sponsor it for you. But if it failed, it is your business. Give me the language that I will use to convince the majority.
Well, thank you very much.
I am ready. I offer myself to you and even offer myself to anybody in Nigeria who wish that bill to be amended. Let him bring it. I will take it to the floor of the House. And I will do my best to make sure I sell it. And if it fails, I will clap.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Sarkin Adar, for joining us on the morning show. Thank you very much indeed.